And then he said to them, suppose one of you has a friend, and he goes to him at midnight, and he says, friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread, because a friend of mine on a journey has come to me, and I have nothing to set before him. Verse 7, then the one inside answers, don't bother me. The door is already locked, and my children are with me in bed. I can't get up and give you anything. Now, here's something important to understand. Jesus, as he's teaching these people, his disciples, how to pray, he first gives them the Lord's Prayer, and he teaches them, here's some different things that you should say. And then after that, he goes into a parable. Now, whenever Jesus teaches in a parable, and he did this often where he'd tell a story, there's always 2 main characters. And in every story, the disciples and people hearing this, they would know this, that one of the characters always represented God, and one represented themselves. And so as they're hearing Jesus tell this story about a man who came to his house and he said, I want 3 loaves of bread. I have these people coming. And he says, will you give me some bread? And the guy inside the tent and inside the house says, I can't get up and give you anything. He says, in fact, stop bothering me. Go away. And so as these people are hearing this story, they quickly understand that the guy going to the house is you and I. And the guy inside is God. And so these people begin to get it, that they are the nagging people going to God, and God is looking at them saying, go away, stop bothering me, I don't want you to come here. Now, something we have to understand about this day and age is that when people lived, they didn't have the houses that you and I had, but they had tents. Now, it wasn't probably a tent that looked like this, but this is just an example. And so you can understand that when you went to bed at night, that you would get into your tent and a whole family would be inside the tent and you would bundle them up and you'd put them down and you'd put them to sleep and you're sleeping on the other side of the tent and all of a sudden somebody comes to the door and they begin to knock because they want these 3 loaves of bread. You don't want to get up. Why? Because you know that the second that you get up, you begin to wake up all your kids in the house and what do? Wah, 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 right? And you don't want that. And so you say to the person outside the tent, listen, don't bother me. My kids are in bed. They're already sleeping. I can't help you. I'm not going to give you 3 loaves of bread. Several years ago, we used to take these youth group trips, and we would go camping at these music festivals. And oftentimes we would sleep in tents like this. And for me, at night when you were sleeping, you had 2 options. You could be like, in the far back, which I actually like to be because then if people had to get up in the middle of the night, you wouldn't hear them. But it also meant that if you had to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, you're like stepping over people and you're trying to be quiet and you have the sound of the tent, unzipping. And this is a story that God, in some ways, he's saying that he's in the tent and you come to the tent and you're saying, God, give me some bread. In other words, this guy wants something. And again, he's talking about prayer. And the guy looks at him and he says, go away, don't bother me. Verse 8, but I tell you, though he will not get up and give him the bread because he is his friend, yet because of the man's boldness, some translations use the word persistence. It says he will get up and he will give him as much as he needs. He says there's something about the guy not giving the guy bread because he likes him, but because he simply bothered him so much. And so the guy goes to the tent and he knocks and he says, hey, can I have some bread? No, go away. The guy leaves. He comes back. Hey, can I have some bread? No, go away. Hey, can I have some bread? No, go away. Hey, can I have some bread? Fine, right? And it says that eventually he gets to this place where he just says, not because I like him necessarily, but because of the man's boldness, because of his persistence, he says, I will get up and I'll give him some bread.